Hey guys, it's 3 o'clock on a Thursday. You know what that means? Time for Top 5 Thursdays. That's right, the weekly show where I give you my top 5s of certain categories. This week we're doing top 5 worst movies of all time. Not the best movies, not okay movies, and definitely not my favorite movies. We're talking top 5 worst movies of all time. Movies that you should not watch, but you're probably going to, and that's okay with me. Starting up number 5. You guys might fight with me, but you're wrong because it's Punch Drunk Love. This movie blows. I don't care who you think you are, and I don't care what this movie meant to you. This movie is so bad. And I know that Adam Sandler has done horrible movies recently. Just look at Ridiculous 6. The Do-Over wasn't that good. Anything he's done recently is not that good. But Punch Drunk Love is his worst movie. Hands down. I do not recommend it. It's painful. It's not funny. It's not drama-filled or whatever it's supposed to be. Punch Drunk Love, please don't watch it. If you do watch it, tell me below how much you hated it because it is bad. Number 4. Personally, I don't like this movie. I'm going with Malibu's Most Wanted. I had certain friends make me watch it. I regret it. I had a certain friend get it for me for Secret Santa, and all I can say is I dread this movie. It's not funny. It's Jamie Kennedy at his worst. There are some moments where you're like, okay, I see where they're going with this, but guess what? It doesn't work. It never works. Malibu's Most Wanted. I hate this movie, and I'm putting it at my top 4 worst movies of all time. Now, number 3. I know this is going to bring a lot of conspiracy theories coming up here, but I'm going with Birdemic Shock and Terror. That's right, Birdemic Shock and Terror. The first Birdemic, not Birdemic 2, which is still bad, but Birdemic Shock and Terror. This is the 3rd worst movie of all time. Don't get me wrong, you should watch it. You will laugh your ass off because it is hilariously bad. And there are moments in this where I have to pause because I'm laughing way too hard. But that does not make it a good movie. No, this movie lacks everything you want in an action-packed thriller. It's not a comedy, it's a thriller, it's an action, it's a drama, there's kind of romance in it. It's everything you want, but guess what? It's not at the same time. Birdemic. Please watch it. It might be on Netflix. If it's not, I'll let you borrow it. Just ask me below. And I'll let you watch this movie because you need to see it, but it is bad. Which brings us to number 2 on my top 5 worst movies of all time. This movie you cannot borrow because it's so bad. I bought this from a Blockbuster before they closed because I thought to myself, I don't want to risk anyone who's never seen this movie getting it. That is Sexpot 3D. And on the back I just saw that it says Huge Melons on sale, $4.20. This movie is unbearable. It's not even funny like Birdemic is. This movie is just painful to watch. With a name like Sexpot 3D, you would think, hey, this is going to be bad. It was worse than what you thought it was going to be. I would not recommend anyone watching this. If you want to watch it, good luck. You can go find it somewhere. I'm not going to let you borrow this. This isn't getting out of my sight. I don't want anyone to have to put through what I went through the many times I've watched this movie. Sexpot 3D, 2nd worst movie of all time. Now, we're getting to the first and then number 1 worst movie of all time. And I know some of you are like, wait a minute, I think I've heard you say other movies. But nothing will compare to this. So the number 1 worst movie of all time is Dark Harvest 2, The Maze, the movie. That's right, Dark Harvest 2, The Maze, the movie. It's a sequel to the Dark Harvest series, but not really, and it has a sequel to itself that's not part of the Dark Harvest movies. This movie is also painful to watch. You'll probably laugh a lot, don't get me wrong, but it is hard to watch. The camera is horrible, the graphics are worse. There's 20 minutes of a guy digging a hole, and the whole movie the guy spends going, girls? Girls? and that's it. Literally the whole movie. You should watch it because it is the worst movie of all time, but at the same time, you shouldn't watch it because you're going to hate me for recommending it to you. But that being said, to know what I've been through at least 5 times now, you should watch it. It's The Maze, the movie. Dark Harvest 2, The Maze, the movie. Good luck finding it. It took me forever to get this. I'm not letting it out of my sight. That's it, guys. That's my top 5 worst movies of all time. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Comment below. Let me know.